Okay, 1.4, day 4, we're going to do systems word problems, and we're going to stick to only 2 equations. Okay, let's look at example 1. No, first let's look at steps for solving systems word problems. The first thing is you're going to define the variables. Since we're doing 2 equations, there's normally 2 different variables we're trying to define. Then we're going to write the system of equations. We'll solve the system, and then we'll actually write the answers as a sentence. So let's go ahead and read example 1. Okay, Boris bought 3 liters of juice and 5 loaves of bread for a total of $17. A month later, he bought $1 liter of juice and 1 loaf of bread at the same price for a total of only $5. How much does each liter of juice and each loaf of bread cost? Okay, now to define my variables, I want to figure out the 2 unknown values, which are normally in the question. So it says, how much does each liter of juice and each loaf of bread cost? Those are going to be my 2 variables. So for a liter of juice, you can use X and Y, although sometimes it's nice to pick a letter that reminds you of the quantity. So I'm going to use J. And what's that? How much does each liter of juice cost? So cost of a liter of juice. Cost liter of juice. Okay, what's the other one? And how much does a loaf of bread cost? So let's do B. Cost of a bread loaf. Now you can use different variables as long as you define them right here, so I know what your letters represent. Okay, so we did step 1, we defined the variables. Next, we're going to write a system of equations. So we're going to read through the question using J and B and look for information I can turn it into an equation. Okay, so what did I start over? Boris bought 3 liters of juice and 5 loaves of bread for a total of $17. So he's saying that 3 liters of juice plus 5 loaves of bread have a total price, or they equal to, what are they equal to? $17. Okay, I have one equation. I need another equation. So let's keep reading. Okay, next sentence. A month later, he bought 1 liter of juice and 1 loaf of bread. So 1J plus 1B at the same price for a total of $5. Now it costs $5. Okay, so that's our system of equations. We have 2 equations, 2 variables. Okay, now I'm going to solve the system. Okay, we can do elimination or substitution depending on which one you prefer. I think I'm going to go ahead and do elimination. I'm going to cancel the J's, although the algebra is up to you. Let's times it by -3. -3J, -3B, -15. Line that up with 3J plus 5B is 17. Okay, go ahead and solve this. What do I get? I get 2B equals 2, so B is 1. And then let me go back and solve for J. I'm going to use the second equation because that's J plus B equals 5. So J is -1. I got 4. Okay, so I got B equals 1 and J equals 4. I'm not writing them as an ordered pair because I don't even know which one would go first. But it was a word problem, so let me go back and answer the question. Okay, the question says, how much does each liter of juice and each loaf of bread cost? Okay, so let's start with juice. Juice costs for what? $4. Bread costs $1. Okay, and then that's my conclusion. Okay, now practice number 1 is very similar. So go ahead and read number 1, define the variables, write the system, solve, and then answer as a sentence. Unpause the video when you want to check your answer. Okay, I chose A for the price of adult admission ticket and C for the price of a child admission ticket. Again, you can pick any variables you like. Our conclusions are going to be the same. Okay, when I solved it, I found that adult tickets cost $5 and child tickets cost $2. Okay, as a hint for these word problems, most of the time, only positive answers make sense. If I had gotten -2 as a price, it would not have made sense, and I would have gone back to find my mistake. So make sure your answers seem to be kind of reasonable, although that's a little bit of a cheap price for a ticket. Okay, let's try the next example. We're going to do all the same steps. And then we'll look for the information. So first thing, let's read it and then we'll look for the variables. Okay, Lily goes to the store to buy shirts for her class. She buys a total of 15 shirts. If each blue shirt is $3 and each yellow shirt is $2 and she spent a total of $36, how many of each shirt did she buy? Okay, so this has something to do with the shirts. What kind of shirts are there? Right, there's a blue shirt and a yellow shirt. So pick a letter for the blue shirts. B is, did she buy number of blue shirts that she bought? What's the other one? Yellow. Let's do Y. It's the number of yellow shirts that she bought. Okay, let's go back and read for some information. Okay, let's see. She goes to the store to buy shirts for her class. She buys a total of 15 shirts, which is good information. We also know that each blue shirt costs $3. Each yellow shirt is $2, and she spent a total of $36. Okay, so I'm going to do the money equation first because that one seems to come more easily to me. So each shirt is $3. So it's $3 per blue shirt. It's $2 per yellow shirt, and she spent a total of $36. So this is the dollars plus the dollars equal the dollars. So that's why I put them together. Okay, now I need a second equation because there's two variables. So the only other number I have is 15 shirts. So she bought a total of 15 shirts. What shirts is she buying? She's buying blue shirts and yellow shirts. So when it says total, they mean, the blue shirts plus the yellow shirts have to equal a total of 15 shirts. So my second equation is B plus Y equals 15. Okay, I have written my system of equations. Now I need to solve. You could do substitution if you want to minus the Y or minus the B, or you could do elimination. It's whichever method you prefer. I'm going to do elimination. I'm going to times by -2. Okay, so I got B is 6 and Y is 9. Let me go back and read the question. It says, how many of each shirt did she buy? She bought 6 blue shirts and 9 yellow shirts. Okay, now in this case, again, positive answers make sense. If I had gotten a decimal like 1.5 blue shirts, I would have also thought I made a mistake because that wouldn't make sense. If I go back and read it, she bought a total of 15 shirts. So 6 plus 9 makes a total of 15. And I could double check that the price is correct as well. Okay, go ahead and try the second practice problem. It's very similar to this example. Unpause when you're ready to check your answer. Okay, go ahead and check. I labeled my variables. L is the number of lilies and T is the number of tulips. I wrote my system. I solved my system. And then I answered the question. There are 8 lilies and 4 tulips in the bouquet. Okay, let's do one more example and then I'll have you practice one more. Okay, there are a total of 52 students on the soccer and field hockey teams. The field hockey team has 12 more students than the soccer team. How many students are on the soccer team? How many students are on the field hockey team? So let's go S, number of students on soccer team. I'm using an S for soccer, but sometimes my S's look like 5s. If your S's look like 5s, you might want to do a different letter. Okay, so I'm going to use H for the number of students on the hockey team. Okay, now let me go back and try to figure out my equations. Okay, there are a total of 52 students, so I feel like it's going to equal 52, on the soccer and field hockey teams. Okay, so the soccer and the field hockey teams together have 52 students. Okay, let's go to the next sentence. Okay, the field hockey team, so H, has 12 more students than the soccer team. What does more than mean? Plus. And it says more than, so it goes in a funny order. So it has something to do with S plus 12. Before we write the equation, let's just think about that. So if the hockey has 12 more than the soccer. So if the soccer has 10, the hockey team has 12 more. So the 10 plus 12 is going to have 22. So there are more people on the hockey team. 12 more students on hockey than soccer. So it's going to be that the hockey team is S plus 12. Because it's always going to be 12 higher than the soccer team. Okay, this looks a little different than some of our other ones. So when I solve this, I'm going to use substitution. Okay, so I'm going to do S plus, where H is, I'm going to substitute in S plus 12 equals 52. Um, 2S equals 40. So I have 20 students on the soccer team, and I didn't get a negative, and I didn't get any weird decimal of a person, because that would be weird. And then I'm plugging it back into this equation. So H equals S plus 12. So I got 32. So how many are on the soccer? There are 20 students on the soccer team. And 32 students on the field hockey team. Now I'm going to go back and read it just to make sure that makes sense, because sometimes these can get a little bit tricky. Okay, there are a total of 52 students on the soccer and field hockey team. So if I do 20 plus 32, I get 52. Okay, the field hockey team has 12 more students than the soccer team. So the soccer team has 20. The field hockey has 12 more. That makes sense to me. When you're done, just read it and make sure it makes sense. Okay, go ahead and look at the last practice problem. And when you're ready to check your answer, unpause. Okay, I went ahead and solved it. I did my variables, I wrote my equation, and then I solved, and I found I had 9 dimes and 12 pennies. I'm just going to double check by reading the question. So I have a total of 21 coins. So 9 plus 12, 21. I have 3 more pennies than dimes. Okay, well, I have 9 dimes. I have 3 more pennies than dimes. So that makes sense. If it seems backwards, you're going to go back and change your variables or change your equations.